So one thing that you're absolutely going to need is references. References, references, references. In life, you need people who can vouch for you. A lot of us talk about who we are and what we can do, but you have to have references that can back it up. You need absolute references that can back it up. So when I'm talking about references, references are people that you can go to throughout your scholarship process and be able to ask for a letter of recommendation. Ask them to also write a couple words on your behalf, to be able to fill out different type of surveys that sometimes scholarships send out and ask for people to fill out on your behalf, because they want to know that you are who you say you are. They want to know that the impact that you're talking about making in your community, that they're a community person who's seen you make that impact. Making the impact is so important, but it's so important to make sure that you have somebody who can vouch for you and the impact that you've been able to make in your life, in your community, in your school. I talk about all the time about how you need to be the community leader, how you need to make sure you have good grades, how you need to make sure that you're having a positive impact on others. But you have to also have references. Every scholarship doesn't need a reference, but some do. And when you're applying to college, sometimes they need references too. And when you're applying for jobs, sometimes they need references too. And it's very consistent when it comes to jobs. So a lot of the work that you're doing as a scholar to be able to apply and be able to qualify for scholarships goes hand in hand with being able to get a job. They're going to want to be able to call your old manager, call your old colleagues and say, hey, did he actually work there? Did he actually do the things that he said he did? And when it comes to scholarships, they're going to call and say, hey, was he actually in the community volunteering once a year at that local shelter? Was he actually in school helping other students? Is he actually a leader? Hello, hello, hello. Is she who she says she is? So one, the first thing that comes up when they talk about who you are when it comes to your references, and in order to make sure that you're in the best position in order to get references, is your character. Your character is absolutely important to establishing the references that you get. So do you have high or low character? And that varies for like your community. But let's just talk about generally what high character is going to look like. Keeping your word. You said you're going to do something and you did it. High character. A lot of people are lying out here. A lot of people would make a wish emotionally and they'll be saying what they want to do and what they're going to do. And then we'll look up the next week and they have not done it. The next part of understanding what you're going to be able to do is put yourself in a good position in order to get references. And that's going to come down to asking people if they need help. A lot of people just watch other people struggle and they never say anything. They never help out. They see the teacher fumbling and struggling and they never step up to help the teacher. They just laugh and point like, whoa, what are you be doing? Like, you're not showing high character. A high character person will go out their way to help and ask, yo, do you need help? And help out. Not just once a year, though. They're going to do it like once a week. That's consistent in high character. And so we're asking, are you doing that on a consistent basis? You need to be able to ask people if they need help, especially in your school environment where they can vouch for your character and thus become a reference for you. Your math teacher, your counselor, your coach on the teams, the teacher who sponsors the club that you're a part of, all are great people who can become references for you. If you can get the principal, big ups. You can get the dean of students, big ups. That means you're asking to help them in ways that most people aren't asking. Because first of all, most people aren't going to ask, right? We already know this. Most people aren't going to apply to college. Most people are not going to apply for scholarships. Most people are not going to go out their way to help somebody if they don't have to, right? If your grandma, your parents are saying, go help somebody, go say something, go do something, they're training you to have high character. And you need to act on that on your own, not just when they say step up and help the old lady cross the street. So when you do that, and you help that lady across the street, you help your dean be able to pick up some boxes and carry it to the other side of the school, you help your teacher with the papers, you don't join the other students in laughing and pointing at the teacher, but instead say, yo, chill out, y'all. Give her a break. It's 30 versus 1 in this classroom. Like, let's chill today. you're a leader. Yeah, no, you don't need president to be attached to you at that point. You don't need vice president or any type of fancy title attached to you at that point. But what you are getting are major character points. And that comes across in the reference letters. And now that's going to stand out between you and someone else. Because we've talked about who gets the scholarships, right? You have your perfect student, 4.0, doing everything right. You have your 3.5 leader, 3.2 GPA leader who's president of this and starting on the basketball or tennis squad, right? So they're like highly competitive. You have Miss Resilient over there who's overcoming single parenthood and different challenges of addiction in her community and is now looking like a great scholarship applicant. How do you differentiate yourselves from somebody else who's also Miss Resilient? How do you differentiate yourself from Mr. Athlete with a 3.5? How do you differentiate yourself with Mr. or Mrs. 4.0? Because they out here killing it, getting great grades every single time. 4.0 every single time. Straight A's every single time. Character. Because their references say they're a great student, they're studious, and they're consistently showing up. That's absolutely amazing. And then on your character letter, on your character reference, they're saying this student goes out their way to make sure that they're helping other students in the classroom. They're not an official tutor, but I know if they finish their work early, they're going to help out other students who are not achieving at the same level and rate as them. They may have a 3.6, which is not a 4.0, but I guarantee you with their 3.6, they're doing more with their character and leadership than that student with a 4.0 who finishes the test, finishes their homework, finishes their classwork, puts their pencil down, and chills. Mr. 4.0 might not be a disturbance, but Miss 3.6 is a helping hand. And you know what that goes into? Servant leadership. So leadership and serving, when it comes to servant leadership, is something that's a character trait. That's not a title. And that's something that stands out on a character reference letter when you're now applying for scholarships and need to differentiate yourself. That's what comes across in those future jobs. This all translates into who you're going to be later on in life. Because if you're a scholar who's going to college, you're already different. You're already built different. But now you're looking at scholarships. So now it's absolutely certain that you're built different applying for scholarships. And then when we look at your scholarships and we're looking now who potentially are going to be these winners, it's those servant leaders who stand out. Those people with great references. And those references are going to talk about your character. And a great character trait to have is your leadership skills that don't need a title. And that's when it comes to you serving others. Teachers, authority, counselors, deans, but in addition to that, your fellow students. Now you're a servant leader. And why is that so important? That's important because now you're giving. You're giving in a way that can't be quantified in a dollar amount. So what are we going to do? We're going to give you dollars. We're going to give you dollars, scholar dollars. Go ahead and get that money. Count it up, count it up. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to get that bread, that paper. Next thing you know what I'm saying? You're going to be getting that. You're going to be out here glowing. And it's going to be amazing. And it's going to be great. And it's going to be fantastic because you are a servant leader who's out here doing what you need to do to give others time, effort, intelligence, knowledge. These are things that can't be quantified, right? You want to keep your profits in the black. That's what happens when you get to business. It's next level, yo. It's absolutely next level. So what I want you to understand more than anything is that your servant leadership is the absolute best place for your character to stand out, and everyone can be a benefit of your servant leadership. The principal, the dean, the counselor, the tutors, the coach, the student next to you. This is where you stand out, and doing it once a week. I'm not asking you to do it every day. I mean, if you could do it every day, do it every day. I mean, why not be that great of a person for the sake of being that great of a person? Why not be that great of a person? I mean, that'd just be an amazing thing to do. I mean, that'd be awesome. I'm making YouTube videos and posting a new scholarship on TikTok and Instagram under @Professor Miles every single day because I strive to be that great of a person. I don't get paid for that, but I'm trying to make sure that you have access to all 141 scholarships. And I recognize all of you aren't going to professormiles.gumroad.com to download the entire list for free. So instead, I'm making it readily available by making sure that we can put it on Instagram and say, here's a scholarship for the day. I'm putting it on TikTok @Professor Miles and saying, here is a scholarship for the day. I'm dropping motivation every 3 days just to say, here's an affirmation that you can say to yourself, because so many of you are not applying the scholarships just because you don't believe in yourself. You can say it's this, and you can say it's that, and you can say it's something else. It's because you don't believe in yourself. You got to change your self-thought. So you start saying, there's 141 scholarships out there. I'm about to apply to one every single week. That's 52. And I don't care if I get 5, 2, or all 52, because I'm doing this to prove to myself that I'm worth it. I know it and I can see it. Imagine what you would be like. Most of you don't even journal, but imagine if you had to write 52 essays on why you're amazing and deserve to be supported to go to college. Oh my God, I just know statistically you're going to get one. Statistically, you're going to get one. Somebody locally, statewide, nationally would be like, this is our person. Oh my God. I started touching the camera. I got too excited. Oh my God, let me calm down. Whew. Okay, I'm calm. So what I need to say is that this is an empowering characteristic. This is how you empower others in your community. This is how you stand out in your community. This is how you really show the world who you are and that you are an amazing, amazing person that has a great reference and someone else has seen it. Just so that you know, your references cannot have the same last name as you. What do I mean by that? I mean, your mama and your daddy, your auntie and your uncles, if they have the same last name as you, it's not going to work. I come from a Black Brady bunch, so that was a cheat code. I'm not going to hold you. I could have my siblings write it because we got different daddies. I could have my aunt write it because, you know what, like, they had different daddies. Okay, my mom and my dad had, you know what I'm saying? Like on my mom's side, they all got the same parents. But on my dad's side, they got different daddies. You know what I mean? Like, are you a Scott? Are you a Taylor? Are you a Goodlow? Like, who knows? But they can write you letters. So that's a cheat code. If you come from a big old Black Brady Bunch type of family like me, where people got different last names and you want to play the system, I mean, I'm all for pimping the system because the system's going to pimp you. Somebody going to get pimped. It's going to be you or it's going to be them. Like the system's already set up for you not to succeed because most people don't apply for scholarships and the system is set up for you not to even know where they are, who they are. They're not organized in any other fashion. Like you go to these scholarship websites and you just get lost amongst all the scholarships. I know 141, it's a lot. How do you even, search through that? But it's better than giving you 1,000 and you being like, oh, this is too much. I just can't even handle it. Which comes down to the fact is you have to keep a positive attitude. No matter what, you got to keep a positive attitude. You gotta just think, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get this scholarship. I'm worth it. I got this. That's why I post the affirmations as well as also posting a scholarship every single day. You need to believe in yourself. You need to have encouragement. Go outside in some great, beautiful sun. Get you a nice graffiti background from the street and go ahead and take like 50 pics. Cause you the one, not the two. And you need to just believe in you and start there with just looking at yourself physically. But the best thing to do is really talk to yourself mentally. And then on top of that is honestly have some talks with God and pray or something so that you can go ahead and get right spiritually. And then when you're able to combine all three of those mentally, physically, spiritually, you'll start to see a change in yourself emotionally. And you'll start to express yourself with a positivity. Imagine a person that comes into your classroom and they always got a smile on their face and they're happy. I mean, 365 days a year, 300 days out the year, they're coming in with a very positive attitude. That's me. And that literally got me about half my scholarships right there because I was just pleasant to be around. I was pleasant to talk to. I was positive. I'm going to do that. That's the key. That's major key. You just got to do that and be that person. I'm just going to impart that upon you. That's a great character trait since most people are negative. Most people connect over complaining about things in life. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe that. Why they do it? I went to McDonald's and can you believe 1 out of 100 fries was cold? Ugh. Like, get out my face. The only I want to hear is coming from Glorilla. That was a major sidebar, my bad. Because I'm from Memphis. What you know about me? So, in conclusion, I would like to submit for your consideration that you take on a personality and the character traits of being a helpful person first and a likable person second. To be helpful is to be a servant leader, going out your way to ask people if they need help and how can you help, and then being a helpful hand. Likeable means that you have a positive attitude and you're bringing in positivity, appreciating things with gratitude mentally, spiritually, and therefore showing it emotionally. So when people start to complain and connect over complaining, you find a highlight, a positive in life and what you're going through, and acknowledge that 99 out of 100 fries were hot and perfectly salty from Mickey D's. Thus, you have now created the personality and character that you need to go to your principal, dean, counselor, teacher, and or fellow students and community leaders and say, would you write me a reference for this scholarship so I can earn $35,000 for the Jackie Robinson scholarship? The AKAs are giving away $5K and I need one of the Ks. I need $5K from the Ks. The United Foundation of Teachers is also giving away $5K. They gave away 189 scholarships last year. I'm looking to be scholarship number 100 out of 189 this year. Would you write me a reference? There's an internship with Microsoft and they're paying their student interns this summer $15,000, but I need 3 letters of rec, 3 people to recommend me. I already have my principal, my cousin with a different last name who's completely tech whiz, and then I also have this community person, you, that I would love to write me a letter of rec. Would you? And now you set yourself up to be able to get your scholar dollars. Don't be shy, just apply. It's your main man, Professor Miles. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. And more importantly, go ahead and download these 141 scholarships. Send it to your cousin, your niece, your auntie, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. And make sure that y'all are working on these scholarships together and you're applying for at least 1 scholarship a week. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm here to empower you. This is my servant leadership in action. Bring that positive attitude. Believe in yourself. Love yourself. And the affirmation that I want you to say in the mirror today is I am worth it. I am worth more money than exists on the planet. I am worth it. I am worth it. I am worth it. I love you. I am worth it. I love you. That's the affirmation. All right, man. Peace and Afro Grease.